Being a senior swimmer at Stanford was just such a privilege. Being a Stanford student athlete in general really puts you at the pinnacle of the NCAA, and I think there's a lot of things that come alongside that, like being looked up to, and really being a leader in that field. And I think on top of that, being a senior this year has just been extraordinarily powerful, being able to be not only a leader in the sport, but also just a leader with on my team. When I first got started in swimming, I was about 4 or 5 years old. My first swim coach actually told me that I wasn't ready for the sport. I was never going to be a swimmer. I just didn't have the drive or the talent. But I always looked up to my older brother, who was 3 years older than me. And he had started swimming. He was 7 at the time and starting to compete. And I thought it was just the coolest thing ever. My brother Nathan went on to swim at University of Cincinnati for 4 years, and has just kind of always been my idol. I've always followed in his footsteps. So when it came time for me to make my own swimming decisions, I initially didn't want to do it. I actually used to cry before getting in the pool every day. My mom used to throw me into the pool, while the other moms and parents kind of stood back in horror because they couldn't believe that, I was going so against my will. I even got made fun of up until like middle and high school because people that I'd swam with remembered that all the way back from when we were 5 and 6 years old, that I used to, I got called the boy who cried because I just never wanted to get into the pool. But that all changed when I started competing. I just absolutely fell in love with the opportunity to compete, and that carried me through all the way when I was 7 up until now. And I've just continued to fall more in love with the sport and enjoy every last minute of it while I can. After taking my trip, I totally fell in love. This place felt like home, and I knew I wanted to come here. And then once I started actually getting into classes here and hearing about some of the experiences, hearing the stuff that's going on in my professors in the classrooms, hearing about the opportunities that I was going to have just from being a Stanford student athlete, and the recognition that that gives you going forth in the world, that's when I realized the true value of this place, and why I'm really forever thankful that I did end up coming here. The main ways that Stanford's helped me grow as an individual is really just learning through failures. Failures and shortcomings can really be our biggest educators and biggest teachers, and that's something that I've experienced in my 4 years here at Stanford as I've gone through the natural ups and downs that come through life. Looking back now, after going through sports psychology, after going through just tremendous conversations with teammates, parents, loved ones, it's been really a transformative experience, and I'm able to see now that competition is really more about improving on your strengths and not beating yourself down for your shortcomings. And now leading into this year, I've had my most successful season so far. We're just kind of getting started, and I'm in a much more relaxed state than I think I've ever been. And it's interesting, the more you pull back and the more that you don't need to succeed, I'm finding for myself, the more success I'm actually having. I've learned so much about what I do when I hit hardship. So when life is coming at me and life hits the wall, whether that's in the future, losing a job, or whether that's, any type of family struggles or home life, when stuff really hits the wall and I'm at my limit, I know that I've already experienced that here. I've pushed myself to that place, and I've been able to get past it, and I understand myself on an emotional level, and I know what I do and the ways that I cope and the ways that I detach and the ways that I remove from certain situations. So now being able to go forward, the ways that Stanford's pushed me here is unparalleled to anything that I'll really experience later in my life. And some people might look at that and be intimidated or be fearful of that Stanford experience. But for me, it's really been liberating in the fact that I know that I have the tools now, and I've been through situations now that anything else that life can throw at me, I am fully prepared for. And to me, that's really the greatest gift I think that Stanford's given me.